for any change in the load, any disturbance, we want the static change in the frequency, that is frequency drop must be 0. So we want the frequency to be scheduled to the original value. Whereas in case of two area system, in addition to taking care of this drop in the frequency, we also have to regulate the change in the power flow in the tie line. So in the last class, we have analyzed the static response of two area system, where we have derived the expression for change in the frequency delta F as well as change in the power flow. Now we have to study tie line bias control for two area system. So here bias control, what is bias controller is, here this bias controller will take care that the under steady state condition, the frequency drop must be 0. We don't want any change in the frequency. Even we have to regulate the power flow also, that change in the power flow also should be 0. So this is taken care of by bias controller. It is similar to your integral controller we have seen in case of single area system. So only that has to be extended here for two area system. Okay. All the power system assist in regulating frequency and tie line power flow irrespective of where the disturbance originates. The control strategy of tie line bias control is based upon the principle that all operating pool members must contribute their share to frequency control in addition to taking care of their own net interchange. This means that for two area system at steady state, both delta F naught, that is change in the frequency, and delta P1 naught, that is change in the power flow, if the power flow is from 1 to 2, must be 0. Now to achieve these objectives, the area control error, ACE, we designate as ACE. Even we have seen this in case of single area system. So these are the control signals for each area. They are proportional to the change in frequency. See, in single area system, the area controller error was proportional to change in frequency. Whereas in two area system, in addition to change in frequency, it is also proportional to tie line power, that is change in the power for delta F, delta P12. So as in the case of single area systems, integral controller is preferable because it gives 0 steady state error, and the area control errors for a two area system are given by ACE1. So that is area control error, suffix 1 represents for area, is equal to delta P. So it is proportional to both change in the frequency delta F1 as well as change in the power flow delta P12. Similarly, ACE2, area control error for two second area, is proportional to change in the power flow delta P21 from area 2 to 1 plus beta 2 into delta F2. It is proportional to change in the frequency with respect to area 2. Here beta 1 and beta 2 are the frequency bias parameters which specify the frequency range, frequency bias, and are determined from the knowledge of the size of the system. So therefore speed changer commands will be of the form. See, similar equation you had written in case of single area system. So here only thing here we have two areas. So suffix 1 represents for area 1, suffix 2 represents for area 2. So for both the area we have to give the equation for delta P reference. So this is depending upon the speed changer setting. So you know that the speed changer setting will keep on operating until the change the frequency under steady state condition becomes 0. So for that we use the integral controller. So delta P reference 1 equal to minus KI1. So KI represents integral gain, which is integral of delta P12 plus V1 delta F1 into T dt. See, in the earlier case when you had single area system, we used to represent delta P reference equal to integral gain K, integral of only change in frequency. Here since here we have two areas which are interconnected by tie line, so change in the power flow also has to be considered. So both these errors will be integrated and the gain will change, keep on changing. So until the drop in the frequency becomes 0. So until then this delta P reference will be keep on changing. Similarly with respect to area 2 we have KI2 suffix to area 2. KI is integral controller gain for area 2. It is proportional to delta P21 plus beta 2 delta F2 dt, where Ki1, Ki2 are integrator gains. Here you know that the negative sign is included to ensure that the generation in each area must increase if either its frequency error or tie line power increment is negative. So if the frequency drops, generation has to increase. That's why we use the opposite sign, that is negative sign. So taking Laplace transformation of both the equations, you will get delta P reference 1 of S equal to, so Ki1, Ki2 are constant. So here integration of this, so if you take represent in Laplace transformation, that will be 1 by S into delta P12 of S plus B1 into delta F1 of S. Okay. Now, similarly, you can write the Laplace transformation equation for delta P reference of 2 will be equal to minus Ki2 bar of S into delta P21 of S plus B2 beta 2 delta F2 of S. So that's what here it is written. So figure below shows the block diagram response of two area system with tie line bias controller. See, in the earlier class we had seen only the primary ALFC controller. See, that is tie line primary speed controller. We had seen only this part. Okay, so you know that this is area 1, this is area 2, which were connected by the transmission line. So this is the tie line we had modeled. Okay, now here in the bias controller we have to include the integral controller. Similarly, you had represented in case of single area system. See, this frequency signal delta F1 was F1 of S has to be given to the integral controller. Okay, so here we are representing in the S domain. Okay, so here delta P1 of S into B1, beta 1 is the constant. So we have delta P reference 1 of S equal to minus Ki1 by S into this quantity. Okay, so that has to be represented here. Okay, this is equal to this into beta 1 into delta F1 of S, beta 1 to delta 1 of S. So this signal is summed up, and again here, so you have to consider this signal change in the power flow, that is delta P12 also has to be included here. See, that is coming from this point. So okay, so you are seeing this is dotted line, that means it represents the bias controller, secondary controller. So these two are given to the summing block. So this into minus Ki1 by S will be equal to delta P reference of S. So this has been represented by this part. Okay, similarly for area 2. So here we have area 2. So these parameters you know already. GH2 of S, that is transfer function of hydraulic valve amplifier GT2, transfer function of the turbine, and this part is transfer function of the power system, that is GP2, of course generator and load together. So here you have this signal delta F2 is coming, that has to be given. Of course, this you know this is to the speed changer setting. So here in the bias controller, same signal has to be taken, and as per this equation with respect to area 2, here with respect to area 2, here we have that has been considered. Similarly, this is symmetrical with respect to this area 1. So here we have dotted line represents it is the bias controller. Okay, so this is about the block diagram response of two area system with tie line bias control. Okay, now we will move on to the next part, that is state space models. See, you have seen the automatic load frequency controller, which involves both primary control, speed control, as well as bias controller. So bias control will take care that under steady state condition, the static frequency drop will be 0. So this design has to fulfill many objectives, like it should act fast. We want fast response and also stability. So the system should reach stable condition. So for this, we require optimum linear regulator. We designate as OLR. So the design of this meets these objectives satisfactorily. So for this design of this optimum linear regulator, we require automatic load frequency controller equations, what we have represented earlier. All have to be expressed in state variable form. See, in modern control theory, even in control system, you have studied representing in state space form. So that it is repetitive. So how do we represent these parameters which we have considered earlier for automatic load frequency controller in state space form? That forms the state space model of an isolated system. So isolated system means we are considering only for first for single area, then we will do for two area system. Once you understand for single area system, you can easily extend for two area system. So you know this block diagram of ALFC controller, because it shows the block diagram of ALFC loop which was developed earlier. You know, this is your primary ALFC. So whereas here this is, see where you have KI, that means it's the integral controller. This is your secondary controller. So this is primary controller. Earlier this was represented up, only thing now I have represented down. So this is primary ALFC. So say bottom one is this signal is given to integral controller. So that will give the secondary ALFC. Okay. Now we have to represent all these ALFC equations in terms of state variable form. Okay. Now first we will consider for the governor. Okay. So here for the governor, what is the output? That is delta PV of S. V represents the valve actuator. That is, so delta PV of S, which is equal to 1 by 1 plus 1 by 1 plus STG into delta P reference of S minus 1 by R into delta F of S. See, look at this block diagram. Here, delta PV of S, it is the output of the valve actuator. That is the, so this is output signal, which is nothing but the input signal to the turbine. Okay, so this is equal to this into this input signal coming from the summing block. Or it is like you have this transfer function equal to ratio of output by input. Output is delta PV of S, whereas input is the signal coming here. Okay, so that's what I have written here. So 1 by 1 plus STG into delta P reference of S, minus 1 by R into delta F of S. This is plus, this is minus. So this into this will give delta PV of S. So, okay, so this is. Now R, if you simplify this equation, delta PV of S into 1 plus STG equal to delta P reference of S minus 1 by R delta F of S. Or delta PV of S plus delta PV of S into STG equal to delta P reference of S minus 1 by R into delta F. That is after simplify. So finally we simplify that it is brought to this form, S into delta PV of S. Because when you are representing in state variable form, the output parameter of each into S has to be represented. So here the output parameter of the governor is delta PV of S. So that is S into this we have brought into this form. So call this as equation 1. Next, similarly we will consider for turbine. See, look at the turbine here. This is your turbine. See, for the turbine, this is the transfer function 1 by 1 plus STT. Output is delta PT of S. Output signal is delta PT of S from the turbine, whereas input is delta PV of S. So we can write for the turbine output by input equal to the transfer function. Okay, so that is delta PT of S by delta PV of S. Okay, now or we can write delta PV of S, delta PV of S equal to 1 plus STT into delta PT of S. Or S into delta PT of S equal to minus 1 by TT into delta PT of S plus delta PV of S by TT. This is your equation 2. See here how we have written this from the previous equation. See, finally we want here again, like here for the governor you have represented for the governor S into output signal of governor. Here also for the turbine we want S into output signal of turbine. So that is S into delta PT of S. We have obtained this equation from this previous equation. That's all. Okay. So this is your equation 2. So finally, because for each component, we have to get S into the respective output signal for the respective component. Okay. Now similarly we will analyze for the generator. Okay, now for the generator, okay, for the generator part, what is the output signal? Output signal is change in the frequency delta f of s. Whereas input signal is what? Input power, that is delta pt of s, turbine power minus delta pd, change in the load. These two are the input signal going to the generator. So whereas this is GP, that is Kp by 1 plus STP, is the transfer function of the generator. So we can write with respect to generator, considering that block diagram. So output by input equal to the transfer function. Clear? So output by input is delta Pt of S minus delta Pt of S, the inputs that are going to the generator. Okay. So we have written here. Again here you have to simplify, like how we have simplified for the previous two components, governor and turbine. So we want the, for the generator, the output signal is delta f of S. S into that output for each output signal for each component we want. So like that we have to simplify. So after, once you get this equation from the block diagram, simplify such that finally you will get S into the output signal for the respective component. For the generator now it is S into delta f of S. So you simplify, you will get this equation. Call this as equation 3. So now we completed the representation of state space variable form for governor, turbine and generator. Next, the last component, fourth one, is your integral controller. Okay. So similarly represent for integrator. Again for integrator, what I have done here is transfer function is equal to output by input. For the integrator, you look at here integrator. What is the output function? Here is going is delta P reference of S, whereas input signal is delta F of S. Okay. So output by input equal to minus Ki by S. Okay, so delta output by input equal to minus Ki by S. Again, this, once you get this equation from the block diagram, for each component, as I told you, arrange such that you will get S into the output signal for that respective component. You know, for this integral controller or integrator, the output signal is delta P reference of S. So arrange such that from this equation, it is S into delta P reference of S equal to what? That you have to get. That will be the fourth equation. So now we have represented all the ALFC equations in state space form. Okay, so equation 1 to 4 are the required state equations. Now we can define the state vector in the time domain as x equal to x1, x2, x3, x4. Because finally when you are writing in the state space form, it has to be represented like this. I have represented in equation 5. See, you have studied in control system, even in modern control theory, that way. Okay. So here x dot of t, that is x in s into x of s in s domain. So it has to be brought to this form, ax of t plus bu of t. So here x is given by x1, x2, x3, x4. Okay. So that they are nothing but respectively the output signal of each component. So we have delta F is the output signal for generator, delta PT for the turbine, delta PV for the governor, delta P reference for the integrator. These are the output signal for the so 4 components we have seen in the block diagram. So this will be equal to x1, x2, x3, x4 respectively. So we represent that in the form of vector capital X. Okay. So, and the external input is delta PD. You are seeing in the block diagram, external input is delta PD. Okay. The state equations now can be transferred into time domain and they can be written in the matrix form as below. So you know that these are your output parameters. So that is dot delta F means S into delta F of S. So you have now have represent 4, 3, 2, 1. We have arranged in the matrix form. This is with respect to 4. See, look at the fourth equation. We have S into delta F of S equal to, no, this is from equation 1. Okay, from equation 1 you have this equation we have represented. Okay, so arrange equation 1, 2, 3, 4 we have arranged in this form. Okay, so after this, now here you observe here S into delta of S equal to minus 1 by Tp into delta F plus Kp into Tp into delta Pt. Whereas this here we have written 0 into 0 because this is with respect to equation 1. Okay, so we don't have those terms. So that's why here it becomes 0. Similarly, with respect to equation 2, we have this, okay, delta Pt of S. So that we have put it in the matrix form where you don't have the term corresponding to delta of S. So you have minus 1 by Tt into delta Pt, then 1 by T into delta Pt. So this will be 0. So we have arranged similarly other two equations in this matrix form. So this is in the standard form of state space model. So which is given by x dot of t equal to ax of t plus bu of t. So x dot of t, this is a, this is x of t. X of t you have seen it is x1, x2, x3 of t in time domain. Plus this is b, this is capital B into u. U of t is the input signal. Okay, so we have represented in the state space form. That is given by equation 5. Now, where x of t here, x of t equal to the state vector. We have called this x of t as the state vector, and u of t as the input vector, that is your external input signal is change in the load demand delta PD, and y of t is the output signal, that is your change in frequency. Now in equation 5, you have this equation 5, you can write x of t equal to, you have x1, x2, x3, x4. Actually, this is x1, x2, x3, x4. Okay, so or you can write this as equal to transpose of this. See, you know x1 is delta F, x2 is delta Pt, delta P is x3, this is x4. Okay, you can write this since it was we have defined like this. So, or we can write x of t equal to transpose of this. Okay, where u of t is the input signal. U of t we have defined, u of t is the input signal. Here u of t is input signal, that is nothing but the change in the load demand in the block diagram. So y of t is the output signal, that is delta F. So where here capital A, so here in this form, this is up to form x dot b equal to ax plus bu. So A will be given by this matrix, that's what I have represented here, and b equal to this form. Okay, I have represented, and c equal to as per this equation, it is 1 0 0, and you know d equal to 0 because y of t is the output signal, that is delta F. So that will be as per this. So d becomes equal to 0. So this is the state space representation of a single area system. So we have considered for single area system. Similarly, we have to extend for two area system.